Hey guys, Milton Mensch here again, and I'm here to make a film introduction on this this classic, this 1987 sci-fi classic that changed almost everything. So the film introduction of today is RoboCop, released in 1987, and directed by Paul Verhoeven. What was supposed to be a low budget sci-fi B movie became an absolute classic, one of the most memorable films of the 80s that that created sort of a social satire around the Reagan era, where the corporations really control everything for the police, finances, everything. But if you look really close, it's a story about a man who's destroyed, you know, um, in terms of flesh, and then he's reborn in another body, in a mental body, but his soul never disappeared. RoboCop really is an iconic character. I remember being introduced to the character, but in the sequel. But I remember watching the RoboCop as a kid, and I didn't like that much because in my perspective, it wasn't as action packed as its sequel. But I remember, buying the DVD, not this one, the other one, at the age of 18, and I said to myself, "Oh my God, this is a great movie. This is a masterpiece, and it's a lot better than RoboCop 2." This is really Paul Verhoeven, I think, first American film. I mean, I'm not sure if Flesh and Blood 1985 counts, but this is really the film that introduced Paul Verhoeven's style, style of action and violence, and a lot of bloodbath. Verhoeven, of course, never made science fiction. Never, he didn't actually like it, but he was able to take on the material and turn it into something wonderful. The social satire, the science fiction, the action film, the emotional drama, is all incorporated in RoboCop. I think the movie really holds well on its own. There was no CGI, so everything was done for real, according to stop motion. If you think about Ed 19. But I think the heart and of course the heart and the steel and the soul of this film is Peter Weller's iconic performance as Alex Murphy. Was it actually as a good cop? Was killed by a gang on the line of duty, and he's brought back to life as RoboCop. As we follow the character, he's haunted by the memories of his own past, and once he sort of remembers everything, he begins a quest for revenge against the people who killed him, and of course to face the corruption inside OCP, the company created. And is really a brutal film, one of the most brutal films ever. And Verhoeven's uses the violence, not something spectacular, but it's something shocking. I think the death of Alex Murphy is one of the most brutal and visceral and gruesome scenes ever. I mean, it was shocking to see the main character being killed. After like 15-20 minutes of the film, it was really shocking. And only Verhoeven could do it. It was with such art, and Paul Verhoeven is really an artist. Is bold. He's not afraid of taking risks, and that's what made RoboCop so memorable. The movie was issued in 1987 with rave reviews. It spawned two sequels, and a remake, a toy line, and of course TV shows. But RoboCop, the original, this is a true RoboCop. This is a true Paul Verhoeven. Probably the best of his American films. Of course, he made Total Recall, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Basic Instinct, and of course, Showgirls, and Starship Trooper. But this is really the best. This is his best American film because I love this point of view of a non-American of this cooperative and corrupt America in the 80s. In not so distant future. If you love RoboCop, I'm pretty sure you know what I'm talking about. If you you haven't seen RoboCop, I suggest you should. This is a really great film. One of the best films of the age. One of the best films of all time. One of my personal favorites. And this is a sci-fi classic that will own on its own for many years to come. So thank you very much for another film introduction. Have a nice day and lots of movies. Bye.